So this is gonna be episode 29 of the Road podcast, and I
Oh
feel
my
like,
gosh, we're almost at 30.
gosh, you know what that
It's
means.
actually
When you
crazy.
hit episode 30, you know what that means.
I don't.
Oh, it means you're them.
Yeah, type shit.
It means you're one of them ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we haven't been together in a while. We haven't
Mm,
filmed in a minute,
no, we haven't.
so it's nice to get back here. I'm wearing a very highbrow outfit.
Yeah. Okay, United States Coast Guard.
Yes, I'm wearing my khakis.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just get right into the episode. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna be talking about
So in
today?
today's episode, we're gonna talk about. Well, actually, you brought it up to me,
Wait,
and
let's
okay, I got you.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my hair, my fluff. What's going on? Oh, there we go.
I have a good way to start this off.
Yeah.
So we've recently pretty much been done with school. We have a score project where pretty much it's an internship or an activity that you do in place of school. You get school credits, and that has left us with a lot more free time on our hands.
A lot, yeah. Which I love.
Yeah. So I'm doing my podcast, and Eamon's doing what are you doing, Eamon?
I'm doing a real estate consulting.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm super happy about that. The free time because now school was what 7 hours a day
Mhm.
plus like driving there, driving back, whatever, getting ready, etc.
Being tired after school. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then right now it's only 3 hours a day for
Yeah.
the score project. Yeah. So that's very exciting to get some extra free time on my hands. I remember you saying like I wish there was more time in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be the topic of today's episode: being able to just maximize your day and how after you pretty much stack those habits, you'll end up just wanting to keep on going and going and going, and going to sleep gets kind of like an annoying obligation, feeling like I have a roadblock,
Yeah.
like school.
That's actually such a good place to get at, like in your life, where you don't want to go to bed.
Yeah,
Like you're kind of sad to go to bed, but you go to bed because you're actually super tired.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I wish I could just do shit all day long.
I know, I know.
But the reason why, so what we're talking about today is we're gonna be talking about how what we've noticed from literally our first day in our senior project, whatever you want to call it. We've noticed that
How locked in we are.
and we are because we are completely alone and not doing anything. Well, not we're doing stuff. We're not around other people.
Yeah, we have our own time to be able to kind of use how we want to, right? Instead of having to sit in the matrix. Yeah, no, like today, for example, I woke up. I was actually so happy when I woke up because it was like, I don't know, it was like this weight lifted off my shoulders. I didn't have to do any homework.
Were you excited to go to bed last night until you wake up in the morning and like have a free day?
Like, it's just like a euphoria
Yeah.
type of thing. Like, to where, yeah, exactly. I'm excited to wake up in the morning. I'm not in bed just like kind of groggy or anything like that. I literally woke up, I sprung out of bed, and I immediately went to the gym. I was so happy.
Yes, sir. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I worked out for also. I usually work out for like an hour and a half. I worked out for 4 hours today.
Damn.
I know it's a little OD, but I just had so much energy from.
Are you a volumizer?
I am a volumizer. I know you're the exact opposite.
I would say the opposite. I've moved away from my low volume training. I'm like more middle of the pack now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. I was kind of the same way. I got home late last night because I actually went to the Final Four. Posted on the Instagram if you guys saw that. So
Sigma.
so I got home late and woke up late. I had one AP class went there, and then for the rest of the day I was pretty much alone doing my own thing, kind of just not in solitude, but just alone.
Yeah, and it's nice to kind of be alone.
Yeah,
Because you get to do what you want, and it's like you actually like, you think about your own thoughts, right?
hmm
And it's there's less anxiety and less social pressure and less anything, and you get to, like I said, do what you want. So, for example, today I went to the gym, came home, I you're good. You want to pick that up? It's fine. Okay. I went home and then I actually I don't I wanted to start reading. I've been wanting to start reading for the past probably 8 months now, and I finally picked up that book that I wanted to start reading, and I loved it.
but
I actually wanted to too. I'm not gonna lie.
like we're saying,
Yeah, and I actually picked up that book that I wanted to read, and I had an amazing time because I didn't have anything stressing me out like school or thinking that I didn't have enough time to do whatever I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And now that I know that I have the clarity that I have enough time to do what I want to do, I actually did what I was procrastinating about. And this is kind of what the episode is going to be revolved around is procrastination.
What
And
book did you read?
um, it's a ClickFunnels book, like about like lead funnels and certain strategies and stuff like that. Um, and
Did that come with a T-shirt?
it did, yeah, yeah. But I was meaning to read that for a while, and I just never got to it because whenever I would in during the school, I'm gonna call it the school season
Mhm.
or the school year. During the school year, whenever I would um want to pick up that book or want to do something like that, I would always think to myself like, oh shit, I have to like do this or whatever and do that and do this, and I would always procrastinate and then
That's
like
called
get anxiety over it and not.
that's called cognitive. Kid was telling me about this. He learned this in psychology. It's called cognitive dissonance,
Mhm.
or I think that's right word, dissonance. It's where your brain pretty much makes an excuse and pretty much makes a justifiable reason on why you're not doing your thing.
Mhm.
So let's say you really want to read that book, right? So your brain is making an excuse and sabotaging you, saying, "Oh no, I have to do this instead. This is more important, so I have a reason not to read the book."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, I have no time to go to the gym today. I have to go to the gym instead of the book."
Yeah. So I had no more excuses now to not do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, that kind of dives into procrastination. I noticed that I've had a big problem with procrastination, especially over like the school season or the school year, due to me thinking that I had a lack of time. I probably didn't, but that was always sitting in the back of my mind because I would always be like, oh shit, I right after school, I have to go to the gym. I'm there for 2 hours. I have to come home, eat, or I have to go to do X, Y, Z, right? And I wouldn't have enough time to do anything that I
Hmm.
really like that was like probably like more productive for me to do during that time.
Hmm.
Um, and that yeah, the excuses that I gave myself were probably a detriment to my growth,
Hmm.
right? I definitely. But now since I've kind of freed up my attention,
Hmm.
right? If you think about attention, we've talked about that a lot. It's like putting your whatever you put your attention on, it's like you're spreading yourself super thin that you can't really put all of your attention towards one thing if you're spreading yourself so thin, and because of that, you won't grow as fast as you probably could.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, but now, no more excuses. Yeah.
No, no more excuses. And right now, justifying your actions and reasoning with yourself. The idea of being alone and that being an easy way for you to make it that you're promoting growth for yourself, making sure you're getting stuff done.
Hmm.
It's because when you're around other people, your body's not your body, but your brain is gonna want to talk to other people.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun than doing whatever you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a
So,
lot more fun than the boring work. Yeah.
but when you need to do your work, you need to have something to fulfill. Forcing yourself to be alone, it's not that much of a chore, and you're gonna be able to have a pretty much just a very sequential day
Hmm.
where if you plan out what you're gonna do, you'll be able to get it done without having any other distractions,
Definitely.
especially without any other like exterior obligations that are like roadblocks in the way.
Yeah. Definitely. It's like yeah, you explained that perfectly. It's a very lubricated process now since all the time is freed up. Um, And then, yeah, no, working in kind of solitude, well, not really, like, yeah, I guess alone, right? In my opinion, is, like you said, much better than probably working around with other people because you aren't your attention isn't fully on what you're doing. It's split between two different things.
Hmm.
So you can't put your full foot forward in that circumstance. Um, and like you said, you notice that you get a lot more done throughout the day, and it's more lubricated than, and there's no roadblocks in the way if you're working in solitude. And I noticed the exact same thing.
Hmm.
Like there was no one around me today. I immediately woke up, went to the gym, came back, read a book, got to work. I probably 10x'd my productivity throughout today
That's good.
than the school years. Yeah, so yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you also not everyone is gonna be like that. You have to have some sort of plan to actually execute. You have to be proactive with what you're gonna do with your time. Because if you have free time, you're like, oh, let me get some boring stimulation. Let me go on my phone. And you're not seeking actual healthy habits to utilize that limited time you have in the day. you're gonna end up being very bored, and then that's gonna lead to you being like, oh, let me hang out with my friends, which is a good thing. Let me hang out with my friends. But if you actually are getting things done and seeking to get even more things done, and just keep building and building and building, it's gonna make this day go by a lot faster. And it's gonna make you want to seek more time.
Hmm.
And a few people after my basketball season, this might sound a little nowhere, but after my basketball season, they're like, "Oh, basketball is over." You told me about this.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, basketball season's over. What am I gonna do now with my time?" And when your time isn't filled up with obligations, that's when a lot of people they'll start consuming like cheap things of pleasure. Like, oh, they'll go on their phone. They'll watch a TV show. They will
And they'll substitute,
smoke weed.
yeah, exactly. They'll substitute that time with something else, right? But there's two things that you can substitute your time with, either a good thing or a bad thing, right?
Mhm.
And so when you free up that time finally, start immediately substituting that with something that's very productive that will increase your growth, right? Because on the contrary, you're not going to do nothing. And so if on the contrary, if you choose to start scrolling on your phone more or whatever, you're going to build that habit, and it's all about building these good habits, right? And so you want to start with building the habit of getting more productive work done instead of the contrary.
And I think it'll really put into perspective how much limited time we have.
Yeah.
Because when you actually think about it, I read this actually in Meditations. It's a book on Stoic philosophy. So, so obviously, before you're born, there's infinity. After you're born, there's infinity. That could be heaven. But in between that, you have this finite time, right? That could be your life. It could be 80 years, or it could be let's say someone was born and lived 20 years.
Mhm.
In the grand scheme of things, the 80 years and 20 years are pretty much the exact same
Because relative to infinity. Yeah.
relative to infinity, right?
Yeah.
So when people are trying to pretty much figure out a way to make the day pass by rather than doing the most they can in the day,
That's like my biggest fear.
that's the biggest fear.
No, that's my biggest fear is just being able to let the day pass, or like letting the day pass and wasting time like that, because like you said, we only have a very, very limited amount of time on this earth.
Yeah.
And so wasting literally every hour or every second of the day, I get so much anxiety and stress from that.
I consider that when people are going on autopilot,
Yeah.
like
Fucking NPCs.
it's like they have no fucking internal monologue, and like they're just letting their impulses just drive what they do
Guide them through life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they end up on their deathbed with nothing to
with nothing to
show for it.
accomplish
Yeah.
except for what people push them to do.
Yeah.
And when an object has no motion, they get pushed. The inertia is going to take them that way. So when people are just pushing them and they're going on autopilot, they're just going to go how other people tell them what to do,
Yeah.
and they're going to
And
end up having no free thought.
and then you have no identity. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when NPC is.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
So one of the
you
okay, so one of the strategies that I like to use for kind of um overcoming the self-sabotage of letting my day pass is through setting up the night before a schedule of what I'm going to do the next day.
have you been doing that?
I have, yeah.
When did you start doing that? Because I recently did the same thing.
Fucking when school ended.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
That's nice.
Yeah. And because of that, now I have absolute clarity on what I need to do that day, what I want to accomplish that day, and I will get right to it. There's no in between time where I'm thinking of like, oh, okay, what am I gonna do now? And then I start like procrastinating on things, and then that will end up in a hole of just like ultimate procrastination, and then letting the time fly by.
How specific are you with what you do?
I go by every hour.
Every hour?
Every hour, yeah.
Do you go like with small intervals, or you say like
Well, no, I just say like, okay,
8 a.m. from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. you do this, and then in that 8 a.m. window, that's 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.
no. So I do. I wake up and then I do this.
Yeah.
Then after that, I immediately do this. Then this. Then this. Then this. Then this. I have no really time frame.
Yeah.
I just finish it when I finish it.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because then ultimately there's no time in between, because if I finish my work, if I have my workout set from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., and I finish it at 9:30,
Mm.
then that 30 minutes
Yeah.
is like I might there could be room for error in there where I might feel like that's free
Yeah.
time for me to just scroll on my phone. And so if I keep moving on to the next thing and the next thing, then there's no free time for me
Yeah.
to be able to do the wrong stuff.
So do you more have like it's almost like a goal checklist?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So and then with goals, it's not really like a so in my checklist, it's
It's
not really like a goal checklist. The goal should be the input.
mhm.
So like instead of make $1,000 today, fucking
Yeah, you're broke. You can't do this.
all right, bro. No, it'd be trade.
It would be easier for you to lose $1,000
Or gamble no.
or gamble for
Gamble.
$5. Gamble 5 hours.
Um,
Wake up, gamble,
wake up.
jerk off, go to bed.
Dude, honestly, that sounds like I feel like sound like a lot of people from today's age.
Sounds like a great day to me.
No, but see, the thing that keeps me pushing is that I know that I derive a lot of stress from things that I'm not doing that I know I have control
Yeah.
over, and that's not pushing me towards my goals. And
Want to give us an example?
um, yeah, so like building a business, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not, so I mean, when you're setting goals, there's priorities, and priority means one.
Hmm.
So if you can only have like yes, you can have multiple different priorities, but yeah, like there's studies that show that having just one main priority, you'll be able to put all of your attention towards that and surround your entire day towards that and be able to output a lot more um, like growth through it because you have all your attention and time into that instead of splitting yourself so thin between a bunch of different things,
Mhm.
right? So, like today, it was literally just work out.
Hmm.
I came home, I started reading that book for 30 minutes,
Hmm.
and then the entire rest of the day, I was just working.
Hmm.
Um, because my top priority right now is um, building my business.
Hmm.
And so, yes, I want to stay fit. You should like stay healthy in your other different realms of life, like relationships. Yes, you should still talk to people. Yes, keep your body healthy, keep eating
I
right.
have a question. Do you
Yeah.
think you reading the book was you procrastinating your work at all?
No, because well,
Well, it's a good thing to do, but do you think you read that book just to say, "Oh, let me just read this book first before I get started"? They'll almost be like, "Oh, I'm setting myself up." But do you think that was you justifying you not wanting to start your work? Even
I didn't think about that, but it could be. But in my eyes, the reason why I did it wasn't because I wanted to procrastinate. Like I was happy to get to work,
yep.
but it was because I had so much free time that I
Right.
wanted to start building a good habit.
He's proactive with your time. That's good.
Exactly. And I want to start building the habit of reading more to build up my vocabulary so I can say exactly what's on my mind to a T, right? Because like our thoughts or the words that we say encapsulate our thoughts, and
Mhm.
so if you have more of a vocabulary, then you'll be able to articulate yourself much better and have the other person that you're talking to be able to understand you and what you're saying a lot better than if you didn't have much of a vocabulary at all.
Which is one of the reasons we started the podcast.
Yeah.
So back on the topic of being alone and being proactive with your time, uh, you, have most people, your life kind of began Friday, if that makes any
Kinda,
sense.
yeah.
And a lot more people, they still have a safety blanket. They still have to go to college. They have this big safety net. They have the structure, and they're going to be with a lot of other kids their age. So you're going to probably be alone for the majority of the time going
Definitely.
forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It is entrepreneurship. It's definitely a very lonely path because you're the only one that's starting out. You're the only one like you don't really have much support from any other people other than them giving you like saying like, yeah, nice job, do this or like keep going on what you're doing.
Mhm.
But it's nothing really like to connect with, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it is a very lonely path. But in my opinion, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be extraordinary. And so to be extraordinary, you have to do extraordinary things and take great measures to be able to
Mhm.
do or like become or and do be that extraordinary person, right? And so like if you think about it, like what I talked about in my solo podcast, the last podcast, I talked about um, be do have and I just distilled it to like kind of do. And so a good frame of mind instead of writing a 50-point checklist on like what you need to complete every day or whatever is just thinking um what would this person do? So in my mind, what would a billionaire do, right? Um, and so, um,
Do you think you could have done more today?
hold on, no, it was perfect. What was I talking about right before it? Um,
I'm gonna ask you a question about if you're gonna be lonely working alone and how entrepreneurship is lonely and how you're gonna have to prove yourself because you'll be all alone.
oh yeah, because I wanted to be extraordinary.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
um,
you're quoting Alex
okay,
Ferguson.
no, yeah, no. So I wanted to be extraordinary, and so um, if you think about it, so I talked about this in my last podcast or the solo podcast, um, about I talked about a good frame of mind to use for like when you want to do stuff or like when you're procrastinating or whatever is instead of looking at your 50-point checklist, which could be overwhelming, just saying to yourself, what would this type of person do in this situation? So whatever your goal is, what would that person that has that goal, that already has that goal, what would they do in this situation? So, in my mind, what would I ask myself, what would a billionaire do in this situation, right?
Mm.
And so, um, to be that extraordinary person, I have to act as how that extraordinary person did or how they act, right? Because they have that, and the reason they have that is through those actions, and so I have to act those actions to be able to get to the place that I want to be, and so I can't. If I want to be that
And
person, then I can't go to college or like I mean I can, but um, like the sort of actions that I'm taking now align with who eventually that person will become. And so that's why I'm doing that.
and you're not looking at the billionaires right now, right?
What do you mean?
You're following what the billionaires do right now.
No, I mean obviously not, but it's like
When you ask yourself, what are they doing right now?
it's obviously different. You have to look at the come up because it's not what it might not what they're doing now, but like what they did during their come up to become a billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it all depends on what industry you're doing. I mean,
And it also all depends on the problem that you're trying to solve, right? It's like,
like
say I
you
wanted
doing
to
this.
get a six pack. Obviously, you're not going to say, what would a billionaire do in this scenario? It'd be like,
You doing the same thing as Jeff Bezos right now. That's not gonna like. It's obviously there can be definitely some carryover.
no, but I'm saying, what would Jeff Bezos do in my situation, in my scenario right now? It's not like, so like if I in my scenario right
Mm.
now. So it's not like Jeff Bezos, say Jeff Bezos had my goals and my aspirations and my circumstance. What would he do? What would his mind do in my scenario to get to that spot, to get to that billionaire status?
I don't know if I love that.
Why?
I don't know because I think that
It
you're
was a big thing in the Christian, like if you think about it, in the Christian faith, a lot of people ask themselves,
what we got here
"Sir,
right now.
what would Jesus do?"
Oh, but it's different. That's moral stuff. There's less black and white with moral stuff. You know, like there is a moral checklist in the Christian in the Christianity,
Mhm.
right, with sins. So you can look at what you're doing and see if it falls under this checklist of is it good or is it bad. If there's any part that points to the bad, oh, probably don't do this. Well, I'm saying with Jeff Bezos, if you're doing your thing with what like growth operating, pretty much, right?
Mhm.
Jeff Bezos wasn't a growth operator. He's probably in significantly different shoes than you, and the way he might attack a problem might be systematically different and send you down a completely different path. So why would you do something where it's a
Yeah,
guy?
it's no, I get what you're saying, but it's not that. It's like sort of like the mindset frame that you have of like um
So is
like
it
for
using
example,
to
if
keep you in check?
yes.
It's like if you don't if
So it's like obviously I can't say that Jeff Bezos knows my problems, right? But like if I have a bottleneck in whatever I'm doing, if I have a roadblock in whatever I'm doing, a good frame of mind instead of procrastinating and being like, oh, I have to look up a YouTube video. Usually, like it's the majority of the time we um, know already what to do. We just like are so uncertain because we always think that there's so many variables around a certain problem, but usually we know what to do. Like for example, people go to personal trainers because they want to get a six pack, and they think that the personal trainer will tell them something that they don't know, even though everyone basically knows how to get a six pack. It's just eat less and move more, right?
okay, I see
And
what you're
so
saying.
it's more of a just saying it's like telling my kind of just a like a a frame of mind of where
You
like
give yourself
it's like a
preparation.
reminder. It's like a reminder that I already know that I like how to do this.
It makes more sense to me. It's like confirmation of action.
Yeah,
You don't know what to do, and you think you kind of might. You think about what this person would do, and it gives you the confidence how you should take the action and
exactly,
go along.
exactly. Because all everything is to get to an end goal. It's not just going to appear out of nowhere. It takes action, right? And those people like take action. Those are people who take action. So it's yeah,
So
exactly it.
you said you had a great day today, and you were thinking what these billionaires would do to keep yourself in check, right?
That's exactly it.
Do you think that you could have done more today?
Um, I mean, yeah, I probably could have, like, obviously in retrospect, there's like every single day I probably could have done a little more that day, right? Like I probably could have, like, put one more pound on the bar, right? Or like I probably could have read one more page, or I probably could have drank more water, right? But that's kind of,
I'm thinking more of based on business and that side of stuff.
mm,
Because to be honest, that's the thing that matters the most right now.
yeah,
Because that's gonna be your life for the next
exactly.
fucking it's 80,
Forever,
80
yeah.
years
Yeah,
for the rest of your life.
yeah.
So I'm just saying, less even about complete actually work and time put in, but things that you should have done. Like, do you think rather than what you did today, do you think you should have sent out some cold emails? Do you think you should have done some of that work rather than doing what you did?
Um, no.
No?
No, not today. I mean, there are days like that.
Yeah.
That yes, but that's just also that like it's like you need to be doing. It's like you need to be doing the right work, not the fluff work, right?
Yeah.
And so
But sometimes you'll do the fluff work and you're
exactly.
justifying your actions saying you're doing work
That's
anyway.
exactly it. Yeah. Sometimes that happens,
I'm just asking you to see if you did any of that today.
but not today. Not today. I mean, obviously, probably could have thrown my phone out of the room for the entire day,
Mm.
or not looked at the eclipse. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'd say today was a very productive day.
That's good.
Good day, yeah. But obviously, like the skill of working grows over time. So over time, I will be able to kind of become more and more productive throughout.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think something that I struggle with is when I start, I kind of have the fear of not being able to get everything done. And like you said, it's very similar to you. So I end up kind of like not hanging out
Anxious.
with. I get I get anxious, but that's probably the only thing I'm
Yeah,
anxious about.
that's exactly it. I have that exact same problem. Whenever I have the fear of not being able to get everything that I want done throughout the day, so I get very anxious about it. And then that like it's like a perpetual flywheel of just like fucking shit because that anxiety like makes me procrastinate about not doing the work, and then because of that I don't do the work, or like I like procrastinate about it, and it's just like it's a really bad flywheel. But
I notice when I do that, it makes me a lot less talkative and a lot less social. When I talk to people, I end up just trying to end the conversation so I can get to what I'm doing because that's the stuff I care about.
yeah.
And I end up almost not really wanting to hang out with any of my friends. I end up just wanting to be alone and get my shit done. And like I'm not sad or anything, but it makes it. Then I end up
Well,
when
no,
I'm
you just have a goal. You have a direction in life that you want to go to. You have something to achieve.
yeah, but I think I'm a pretty empathetic person. So then I end up kind of looking back at it, and I feel bad that I'm not giving these people the time of day when like they'd appreciate it.
Mhm.
And that can definitely be a little bit egocentric, thinking that oh, these people care so much about like me what I'm doing that I have to stop my own time to make them feel happy. And so that's definitely something I battle with sometimes.
I,
And
I I have that problem too.
and I think it's important to definitely hang out with your friends, but what I do is I like to get all my stuff done first before hanging out with them because then I can kind of justify it in my weird fucked up brain.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I was gonna say something else. Wait, give me a second to think.
yeah. You're good. Because yeah.
Back when we were talking about the fluff,
Mhm.
and that stuff. Like it'll sometimes get to the point to where like I'm so scared that I'm gonna be doing nothing that I will just fill up my day with fluff, even if I have
Yeah,
nothing to do,
yeah,
because I'm not willing to take a second and actually fundamentally sit down and think through what I'm gonna get done.
yeah,
Which is why doing stuff like meditation to me has been very helpful. It allows me to kind of step back and just be present in the moment,
mm,
not be anxious about what I haven't done yet or what I'm going to do or what I have done. and like journal.
It's so a cool frame like thing to think about because when like you're or like the act of meditating feels productive, but that will give you like the mindset that you need to have to be able to do the right stuff throughout the day,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. So I mean, a good tip, yeah, that's a great tip. If any of you have that same exact problem, is just probably meditate and and just sit down and think instead of trying to have to all do stuff throughout the day and eventually get nothing done because you're doing the wrong shit.
Your framework about Jeff Bezos and the billionaires is kind of similar to what meditation is.
Hmm.
You're taking a meta moment, you're being mindful, you're kind of taking a step back and examining the issue, not from your own eyes, not from your own ego, but from the actual situation as a whole.
Yeah,
So if you're taking it from another person's point of view, once again, that can help you figure out what to get done.
yeah,
So like I said again with meditation, when I don't know what to do, I'm just working on fluff and then I meditate and I'm able to get the structure into place and I'm able to fully attack that.
yeah.
That's good. The anxiety and almost fear-driven work, which I think getting the work done, and even if it's driven by fear, it's good because it makes me actually end up feeling happy,
Oh,
even if it's
definitely.
completely, even if the coals are burning
The rat
fear,
is behind you.
fearful flames.
Yeah.
But something that I end up trying to do is end up multitasking. I think there's good multitasking and bad multitasking. I think if you need to get work done on your computer, you you don't multitask. You get the work done. But then there's stuff I like to call it efficiency maxing or productivity maxing. This is when like um I wake up in the morning before school, right? And what I do is I go straight upstairs. I'll put some like I'll put some protein oats in the microwave. Put the microwave on. Put my glass in the autofiller. Put the autofiller on. Shower while I'm doing all this stuff while I'm like downloading a video at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like I was saying, the mic cut off for a second, but like I was saying, efficiency maxing.
yeah.
Just doing stuff in passing time where you can somehow be productive, find something to do, find a puzzle piece to fit in there.
Yeah. And so, like you were saying, there's two different types of.
Wait, first, and give some more examples.
Okay. Yeah.
Something I love to do is when I'm going down the escalator, I like to make sure I stretch my calves when I'm going down the escalator because I'm just standing on the step. I'm standing there, but I can sit on the edge and stretch my calves off the ledge,
Yeah.
and I'm able to make that like a little good thing. Or when you're waiting in line, I like to sometimes stand on my tiptoes and hold an ankle contraction to build my ankle stability and increase my tendon strength. So that's a little bit of some crazy stuff I do.
Productivity maxing.
Or or sometimes, oh, this one's crazy. Sometimes I'll get some food and I have to take a shit and I'll start eating while I'm taking a shit at the same time.
All right, bro. All right. All right. Yeah, no, but that's like kind of mindless work. But on the contrary, when there's like mindful work, I completely disagree with the
You
fact
disagree
that
with me, bro?
no, 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 no. Disagree with the fact that you can multitask if you're doing mindful work.
Yeah.
You need your mind actually, because if you think about it, the way I think about it is that our brain is a massive, massive like massive computer with only 1 gram of RAM. And so like if people don't know computers,
Gigabyte.
or shit, yeah, gigabyte of. So I think about a brain.
Bro, we need to restart the whole podcast now.
Yeah. I think about a brain of as like one big massive CPU, with only 1 gigabyte of RAM. And so if people don't know what computers like are or whatever, the CPU is the actual mind that runs the system, and then the RAM is kind of like the memory that it has. And so, if you think about it like that, like you can only put your attention towards one thing. And I notice that if I try and split my attention towards multiple different things, then I don't get as much done, or like close to as much done as I could if I did one thing. It's like, for example, if I had 10 different um, like marbles, right? And I spread it between 5 different things. So I had 2 different marbles in each bucket, right? Rather than if I had 10 in one bucket. I feel like I can, if I focused all of my attention on one bucket, I can have 20 marbles in that bucket because of the amount of attention towards that thing that I'm doing. And so in productivity maxing, you have to think about
This is pretty right.
you have to think about like what you're actually doing, and if it's if you should be putting your all of your attention towards that one thing instead of spreading it between so many different kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's back on the idea we've talked about just like compounding energy.
Yeah.
If you're consistently putting 1% of your work, 1% of your focus towards something, over time you're not gonna get that much done. Maybe on a day-to-day basis from 1%. Actually, the day-to-day basis you'll still see a big difference. But over time, you're putting all that attention on one thing every single day, compared to if you're doing like even like 80% of
Yeah.
that, you'll still see such a significant
Yeah.
better growth
Yeah.
trend.
What is it? A jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah. Like if you look at
you can
it,
keep that to me.
look if you see like the jack of all trades, yeah, they're a jack of all trades. They can do a lot of things, but they're not a master of one. And that mastery is what is the actual compounding effect of that you will see, be able to quantify, um, like kind of why you want to put your attention towards just one thing. Like for example, um, like I'm just gonna say Jeff Bezos again, right? He put all of his attention towards his business, and that was able to
And
get the compounding
being
effects from
bald.
it. Yeah, and being bald, you said
Yeah.
it. He was able to see the compounding effects from it because he only put his attention towards one thing,
Mhm.
right? Rather than if you were to look at an entrepreneur that had like 10 different businesses, it's I want to say it's impossible to like do that all at one time, like to grow a $1 billion business all at one time if you're growing 10.
I have a question for you. Are you gonna trade at all during your or during your time?
No, it's
No,
not because my number one priority is
no, it's trade.
no no is building my business.
It should be not to trade.
Why?
Well, what's the thing you have? It's you look at the things that they don't do, and then you do the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Someone's not gonna,
Oh yeah.
someone's not
Someone's not
gonna,
gonna split their attention towards different things. Yeah, exactly. I
and
know what you see.
well,
What's
I can see you justifying that down the road and saying, oh, let me make some more money.
Yeah.
And do you think that if you make money, it was still the right decision?
No, because it wasn't a part of my it wasn't a part of my priority, and it's not adding to that compounding vehicle that I will eventually see
Exactly.
needing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, just back on the topic of product maxing, you need to try something called look maxing. So if you ever notice that
What a transition.
if you ever notice that, oh geez, my jawline's terrible, or my mouth is dry and my breath is terrible, and girls stay away from me, you need to understand that you're probably a mouth breather. There's one way to fix this at night. Sport Sleep Tape. And that is our sponsor for today's video. Thank you, Sport Sleep Tape. Use code ROGUE15 for 15% off at the checkout. And change your face, change your sleep, and change your life. Thank you, Sports Sleep Tape.
Now I finally get bitches.
Yeah. No, nothing can save you, dude.
All right. All right. Am I done for?
Yeah, you're done for.
It's my negative canceled tilt.
Yeah, it's over for you, bro. So now I think this is something very important we need to do. We need to make peace with the limitations we have from a day, right? We need to stop trying to do way too much. Do what we can, and we have to be able to kind of let go of those anxieties, because that's something me and you both struggle with.
Definitely,
I
yeah.
think that's something that's to make life a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I did some of that today. I actually don't think I had a great day, but I don't think I got as much work as I should have done today. I kind of had a relaxing day. I meditated a lot. I was outside a lot, and that was good. But still, now I'm mad that the day's
Gone.
gone.
Yeah.
So rather than thinking, oh, I have to try to stay up all night and do that, grab something else.
No, I'm scratching my nose.
Go to bed and start again in the morning. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Go to bed, start in the morning, attack the day with maybe a different intent, a different frame. And I really like what you said, where write out what you're going to do the night before. I like to do it very, very structured with time based, just because it gives me a sense of urgency.
Yeah, I mean,
It drives me.
that's personal to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's personal to me. We're different people. Yeah.
That's what I was saying about personal when you're talking about the Jeff Bezos thing. I was saying what works for him might not work best for you.
But I'm saying in the frame of
Yes,
mind.
the
Yeah.
frame of mind. I was jaded with what you said.
Yeah.
So guys, rogue routes tip of the week. Take a meta moment, meditate, maybe just sit down, do nothing, write in a journal, and just take a step back and view things from another perspective. And take some time to do nothing.
Yeah, doing nothing is actually a great thing. I remember I talked about this, and maybe it was like our first couple of episodes where there was a comedian that,
Is it Matthew Rife?
no. Oh my gosh, I love him.
He's so fine.
No, there was a comedian that, when he wanted to do work, he gave himself the choice to either do nothing or do work, and like by doing nothing, he wanted to get at least some stimulation, so he ended up doing the work. But it gave himself the freedom of choice instead of forcing himself to do the work and making it unenjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to the episode.
Yeah.
You have anything else to say?
No, check out my solo episode. It's the last episode, so yeah.
No, the solo episode is gonna be before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last episode.
Oh yeah, watch Eamon's solo episode. Yeah.
Yeah, watch my solo episode.
Watch all of our episodes and
Please.
subscribe
And turn on post notifications.
and donate.
And give me your kidney, please.
And if you DM RR69
The fuck?
Rogue Route 69, you'll be invited to the free humiliation.
You'll be invited to the TikTok wrist party.
You'll be invited to the TikTok.
All right.